Good morning. Sally slams the south. Hurricane Sally brought heavy wind and rain to the Gulf Coast. People are now cleaning up the damage. The latest on what's happening in the area.
Plus, feeling like fall, cooler temperatures are on the way for East Central Indiana. Our weather team will help you get prepared with this weekend's weather outlook.
And it's a good morning around here. Our friend and colleague Nathan Gidley returning for his first show of the semester. And trust me when I say he's got an important message for you. Get the coffee ready and open up those eyes. You're waking up with Cardinal Weather.
From Ball State Unified Media, you're waking up with Cardinal Weather with Tyler, Annie, and Nathan live from the Ball State Weather Center.
A little bit of Mandisa to start off your Friday morning. TGIF, everyone. We have finally made it to Friday. The weekend is almost here. Thank you so much for being here with us. I'm Tyler Brummett.
And I'm Annie Kuester. Not only did we finally make it to Friday, but to fall weather. Below 50 degrees this morning walking in here.
Yeah, it feels great outside. And you know what else is great about today? Nathan Gidley back in studio this morning. Nathan, we are so happy to have you. We are so happy that you're healthy as well. Let's go ahead and have you do what you do best. Tell us about the weather this morning.
Hey, thanks for the warm welcome back, Tyler. But it is not a warm morning outside this morning. A little chilly as you step out the door here. 49 that temperature here in Muncie, 48 in Fort Wayne, 52 in the Circle City, and 47, a cool 47 there in Kokomo this morning. And we do see, if we look at the 24-hour temperature change map here, some of these locations off to the north, 14 degrees colder than this time yesterday up there in Fort Wayne. So certainly that cold front moved through yesterday, really dropped the temperatures down here today. Nice and quiet here on the radar, and that's going to be the story here all day today. High pressure works in. Out east, those are the remnants of Hurricane Sally. That's the only precipitation here out east. The rest of us are looking nice and dry here today. No impacts from Sally in our section of the country here today. As we look over the next 8 hours, we warm up today only into the mid-60s. So certainly a big change to what we've been experiencing recently. As a result of some of this cold air as well, a frost advisory is in effect for some of the northern counties in our viewing area here. I'm going to track out the details on the cold coming in here the rest of this week and how all the details on these fall-like temperatures and all that sunshine coming up in my full forecast a little later on in the show.
All right, thank you so much, Nathan. And jumping right into our top headlines this morning, right now, hundreds of thousands of people are without power in the Gulf Coast, and the relentless rains and remnants of what was Hurricane Sally is now soaking the Carolinas and moving northeast. Chris James is on the ground in hard-hit Alabama, where the storm first struck land as a Category 2 hurricane.
It's been 48 hours since Hurricane Sally first struck the Gulf Coast, and right now here in Gulf Shores, the lights are out. There are 375,000 people in 2 states who are out of power right now, and this darkness is really overwhelming. You can understand why so many cities have implemented these curfews to make sure people are staying inside just because there is still so much danger out there.
Citizens awoke to extensive damage and destructive property, and loss of power and infrastructure, and sadly, even the loss of life.
Sally's wrath lingers on in Florida and Alabama. A trail of mass devastation revealed from the air, where debris-laced waters have taken over once thriving neighborhoods, and swollen rising rivers are now threatening bridges across Florida.
That widespread river flooding is ongoing, and it could continue over the next weeks in different parts of Florida.
Who can really control the power of a hurricane? No one.
The storm soaking Georgia. Saturated grounds triggering the collapse of a tree through a home, killing one person.
Power, though, is a major initiative and a priority at this point.
Hundreds of thousands of homes and businesses are now sitting in darkness.
They do have crews here working. They're going to be working 24/7 to be able to get the power back on.
Now officials are keeping their eyes on new threats brewing.
There are 7 systems out there right now, one of which, this system in the Bay of Campeche, we could be doing this again in a few days.
Now the street that I'm standing on right now had been flooded because of a river that overflowed, but right now the waters are starting to recede. Certain areas around here are starting to see some relief. However, there are still so many people who are in harm's way because of the continued power outages. Certain people today had to actually be rescued by the Alabama National Guard. I actually just spoke to a woman here who said she was kayaking down the street earlier today. Reporting live in Gulf Shores, Alabama, I'm Chris James. Back to you.
At 8:05 now, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about those wildfires out west. The air quality in both Eugene and Springfield, Oregon continues to get worse because of the fires in the area. This is leading to many smoke refugees escaping to search for clean air along the coast.
He was starting to cough a little bit. We have filters in the home, but you just worry with a little guy like this that he's doing some damage to his lungs, so we'll stay here and spend the day here until it's time to go home.
The city of Florence, Oregon's Chamber of Commerce says local businesses are enjoying a boom from the clean air tourism. Many businesses have reopened. Visitors say the fresh air and misting rain provide much needed relief.
And along with that, video posted to social media by a California fire department drives home the fury of the wildfires. These images posted by the Merced Fire Department documents the first 12 hours of the destructive Creek fire. You can see the point of view from firefighters driving through a dangerous, glowing street lined with homes in varying forms of destruction. The nearly 2-week-old fire in the Sierra National Forest has charred more than 220,000 acres and is 18% contained. The cause is under investigation.
Also this morning, stunning images of the U.S. coming from NASA. Check this out right here. This is a view from space captured by NASA's Aqua satellite. You'll see it here in just a moment. The image reveals a tale of two coasts. You can see the fires out west and smoke from them drifting all across the country. The red points that you see on that image right there indicate higher temperatures, some of them even indicating fires. Meanwhile, Hurricane Sally could be seen from the satellite making landfall on the Gulf Coast. And just ahead this morning, a new grim prediction from the CDC. We've got the latest coronavirus headlines in a moment.
We've got all that after your weather now.
Welcome back to Waking Up with Cardinal Weather, 8:08 here on your Friday morning. A bit chilly out there. That is a live look over part of campus. And of course, we're going to have your latest weather forecast with Nathan coming up here in just a bit. But we do want to talk about the coronavirus right now. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is predicting up to 218,000 U.S. coronavirus deaths by October 10th. This projection is up from 217,000 by October 3rd. The CDC model only forecasts a few weeks into the future. And according to Johns Hopkins University, the U.S. death toll from COVID-19 right now is just under 200,000.
And with that, the world is waiting for a COVID-19 vaccine, but the director of Center for Disease Control and Prevention says actually wearing a mask could be more effective against fighting the coronavirus than a vaccine. Dr. Robert Redfield made the comment Wednesday before a Senate hearing.
Face masks, these face masks are the most important, powerful public health tool we have. And I will continue to appeal for all Americans, all individuals in our country, to embrace these face coverings. I've said it, if we did it for 6, 8, 10, 12 weeks, we'd bring this pandemic under control. These actually, we have clear scientific evidence they work, and they are our best defense. I might even go so far as to say that this face mask is more guaranteed to protect me against COVID than when I take a COVID vaccine.
Dr. Redfield went on to say that even if a COVID-19 vaccine was released today, It would take 6 to 9 months for enough people to get it to create immunity, and he doesn't think one will be able to be ready for the public until mid-2021. And back here on campus, we've got those Ball State campus numbers. For the third day in a row, Ball State University has reported 0 COVID-19 cases to the dashboard. At yesterday's update, 9 more students and 3 more employees had been tested for the coronavirus through Ball State's partnership with IU Health. The university says no new cases were reported. Through outside sources, including self-reported, there were 9 student cases. There have been an estimated amount of 888 recoveries and 84 active cases.
And Annie, speaking of BSU and COVID-19, you can hear from Ball State President Jeffrey Mearns tonight about the university's response to the virus. The president and provost, Susana Rivera-Mills, stopped by for a recording of Cardinal campus and community conversations. This episode is hosted by both myself and Lily Cedardahl. My pal right to my left over here, Annie Keister, she's going to be taking us back over the past several months, kind of recapping the university's response to the virus. Mearns says he's confident with how things are going at this point.
I'm hopeful that with continuing to monitor and continue to provide testing, that we'll see the number of students who test positive continue to decline. But we will be monitoring it regularly.
Do you think it's likely we'll make it to the time when we're supposed to go online? Do you think we can make it to that point in the semester?
If we continue to see a decline in the number of students who are positive, yes, I think that's quite possible.
And tonight's broadcast will be the first of 3. You can watch Cardinal Compass at 6:30 in the evening. That is tonight on WIPB TV. You can also listen to the show on Indiana Public Radio. And Annie, I know both of us kind of had a hand in helping put that show together. It was so much fun, you know.
Such an honor to sit down with the president, I do have to say. And I think we got a lot of good stuff in there, a lot of information you want to know if you're a student on campus, a parent with a student on campus. Keep you updated throughout the semester.
Yeah, and of course, we will continue to keep you updated on COVID-19 right here on Waking Up with Cardinal Weather. And really, the pandemic has continued to affect several events right here in Delaware County, including the White River Cleanup.
That's why Cardinal Weather's Natasha Leland talked with the event organizer, and she's here with us live this morning. Good morning, Natasha.
Good morning. The annual White River Cleanup is going virtual. I spoke with a member of the event's steering committee to learn how that's possible. For the past 13 years, hundreds have come every September to help pull trash out of the White River. But this year, the annual White River Cleanup has moved online. From September 19 to September 26, Muncie, Delaware Clean and Beautiful will be posting daily on its Facebook page to remember past cleanups. Stormwater educator Jason Donati is a member of the event's steering committee and says the venue had to change.
We did meet and have some discussion about is it wise to bring that many people together, because the White River Cleanup is one of the largest volunteer service events in the county every year.
In 2019 alone, the event had nearly 500 volunteers. Even though there isn't an actual cleanup this year, Donati hopes the virtual event will help more people become passionate about protecting the waterway. To do so, the committee has come up with fun interactive activities like a game of What's It.
So we're going to be sharing pictures of things that we found in the river cleanup and trying to see if people can guess or just comment and talk about some of those items. So, and there's quite a few interesting items. So that should be one of the fun things that will come out of this as well.
Since the first cleanup in 2007, it's estimated over 130,000 pounds of trash has been collected, along with more than 800 tires. This has helped quality of life for all species.
The biology of the river is improving each year, and just there's more trails, there's more activity. You see a lot more people canoeing and kayaking, and enjoying the river for what it is.
Instead of focusing on cleaning the river this year, the committee hopes to celebrate the great strides made to get the river to where it is today. Donati expects posts about the river will become more regular after the event, just one way to keep celebrating one of Muncie's greatest natural resources.
So it's really a nice place to be in Muncie. It's the best place to be.
To participate in the event, search for Muncie, Delaware Clean and Beautiful on Facebook and be sure to visit their page each day next week for new content. In Muncie, Natasha Leland, NewsLink, Indiana. You can join in the virtual celebration starting tomorrow. Tyler and Annie.
Hey, and it's great to see that good stuff going on in the community. Thank you so much, Natasha. And we asked for fall weather, and we got it.
Yeah, absolutely. And if the White River cleanup was happening this morning, let's just say, the people out there, they would have to bundle up. Nathan, are we going to continue to see this trend of cooler weather kind of just, come through the area here in Delaware County and in East Central Indiana? Because it's quite chilly out there.
Tyler and Annie, I walked out the door this morning. I felt that chill in the air, and I knew the unofficial start to fall is here. Yes, it is jeans and flannel season, unofficially here across Central Indiana, as we see temperatures in the 40s this morning, 49 here in Muncie, 52 in Indianapolis, and 51 in Shelbyville. Good morning to you. As we look out across the area here, we see the cold front move through yesterday. Some of these locations off to the north are quite chilly compared to where we were at this time yesterday. 14 degrees colder up there in Fort Wayne. Nothing to track on the radar, and that's going to be the story here over the next couple of days and throughout the weekend and in the next week too, as this high pressure slowly works its way down from Minnesota down into our section of the Midwest here. I can't remember the last time I didn't show precision cast here on Cardinal Weather, but that's because we just have nothing going on. Lots of sunshine expected all throughout the day here today. 55 at 9 o'clock this morning, 61 by noon, and 64 around your evening commute here this evening. Temperatures here across the region, some of these locations all sitting in the mid-60s, some lower 60s possible up there in Marion here today. Clear skies expected tonight, a low of 38 degrees. A very chilly night is expected. As a result, some locations are under a frost advisory tonight. That includes Blackford, Grant, and Jay counties from 2 a.m. to 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. So certainly if you have sensitive plants outside, be sure to cover those up as we are looking at our first little taste of winter here. So I'm certainly excited for that. A really similar story here on Saturday as well. Temperatures staying in the mid-60s to some upper 60s for some locations. So another gorgeous day expected for your Saturday. Fall-like temperatures continuing all throughout the weekend and into next week. Clear skies tomorrow night. 40 degrees that low temperature, winds out of the northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Now we're also really excited this weekend. The Colts home opener at Lucas Oil Stadium down there in Indianapolis taking on the Minnesota Vikings. Kickoff at 1 p.m. there. Plenty of sunshine expected, 65 degrees. If you're one of the lucky folks heading out to the game, be sure to bundle up as you may have that roof open there for on Sunday. So certainly going to be a nice day for a football game. And as we are tracking the official start of fall here, we are seeing these fall-like temperatures out there right now. 4 days, that's it until fall starts. A lot of people are really excited for the season to get started. So certainly Tuesday, first day of fall, looking forward to that. As we look here at the mid-7-day forecast, 64 for your Friday, staying in the 60s all throughout the weekend. Just wow, look at all that sunshine, just a gorgeous 7-day forecast. Making it back into the 70s next week, maybe a few clouds by the end of the forecast period, but no precipitation to track. Just an awesome fall-like forecast, guys.
I'm thinking no complaints here. I've already got my apple cider waiting at home. 4 days.
Absolutely.
4 days
and the jeans and the flannels coming back.
Not a problem. Not a problem. But you're going to want to stay with us because in just a moment, we're going to sit down with Nathan and talk about his experience through the coronavirus.
Yeah, we're happy that he's back, but really this is an important conversation to have. That's all after a message from it. Stay with us.
Riding the bus is an easy thing to do. Last year, we carried 60,000 riders from the Ball State area. 50,000 of those were students. Anywhere you want to go, Mitts will take you there.
That fall weather, but we've got something else to transition to this morning, Nathan. You're back with us this morning. Go ahead, jump in. What do you have to say?
Yeah, well, it's great to be back. I was, unfortunately, I had to miss 2 weeks here at the start of the semester for a positive COVID-19 test. And certainly a situation I didn't expect to deal with, especially senior year. It's real unfortunate. Started last week when I thought I felt something in my throat, and by the time I decided to get tested the next day, and then by the end of the week, I got the positive result around the same time I lost my ability to have taste and smell. So I did all the quarantining and did all the recommended advice for that, and certainly I'm feeling a lot better now, but just want to reiterate to take this thing seriously because it's certainly a virus that's really impacted me now close to home.
First of all, we're happy that you're back. You posted on your Facebook page, you were kind of talking about how this is a tough conversation to have, and you were kind of open and honest about that. Without getting too personal, kind of at the beginning when you first started feeling symptoms, what was going through your head, and also did you think that this was COVID as soon as you started, feeling, what was it, the tickle in your throat you said?
I wasn't sure if it was COVID at that point, but I figured tests are free. I should get tested as a precaution, and I would encourage that for anybody out there. If you feel something might be off, just go ahead and get yourself tested. Take advantage of that opportunity. And certainly by the time I got to the end of the week and lost that taste and the smell, I kind of knew it was COVID, and just a lot of uncertainty, certainly, because there's a lot of things that could happen with the disease, like you could have more serious complications throughout that quarantine period. So just so fortunate that I didn't have to deal with those major symptoms. They stayed pretty mild. Certainly take advantage of the masks out
Absolutely.
there, mask up, and keep each other safe. I just hate to spread the virus and have to deal with that guilt of having to spread it onto somebody who may experience more complications compared to what I experienced.
Like you said, your senior year, it couldn't be more untimely, and I think that's the unfortunate reality a lot of us are facing right now. Senior year as well, it is true, it is putting a damper on some things, but I think right now the most important thing is keep pushing forward, keep others safe. Back to your diagnosis, what is your initial reaction?
I was just kind of shocked. I mean, it's weird to have your whole schedule laid out, and then it's like all of a sudden the schedule has to go away and you have to quarantine. So certainly the shock of a break from the norm was certainly something I wasn't expecting to experience.
And kudos to you because you did everything right. You were social distancing, you were wearing a mask. We're just so happy to have you back. We've missed you, especially considering the fact that it's been such a long time. Unfortunately, though, we do have to leave the conversation there. Nathan, thank you for opening up because I know that this was difficult for you to talk about and whatnot.
Thank you. Great to be back. Be safe, everybody.
Absolutely. We want to go ahead now and send it over to Morgan with a check of that national weather. Morgan, good morning to you.
Take a look at weather across the nation this morning. You can see that temperatures are definitely cooler side here on the national current temperatures map. Looking here at the central and upper Midwestern portions of the country, temperatures in the 40s and 50s. Now, as we push out west, you can see that temperatures in the 80s. So definitely on the warmer side, and those warmer temperatures out west right now definitely has an impact to do with the fires and the smoky weather happening out there right now. As you can see, there's a red flag warning out to the west and some air quality alerts happening right now due to those fires and all of that smoke currently happening out there. Now, while the west is fiery and smoky, the upper Midwest and portions of the New England coast are definitely frosty and cool this morning as portions of those areas are under a frost advisory. But those conditions won't stay for long as we take a look at those highs for today out in those areas sitting in the 60s for today. And then as we take a look back out east and west, you can see temperatures pushing 101 out in Las Vegas and staying on the cooler side off in Seattle. And that partially has to do with a low pressure system and a cold front pushing through the area, bringing the potential for some spotty showers and thunderstorms to push through the area. As you see here on radar, you can see there's some rain moving through the forecast here on the coast, as well as the remnants of Sally here off to the east coast as well. Now, as we time out some of the systems here on Precision Cast, you can see that system out west over the Pacific Northwest. By 9 a.m. is definitely going to be bringing in some rain and then gradually going to start to clear out as we move this clock forward. But drawing our attention back to the Gulf here, you can see that that system down off near Louisiana is definitely going to continue to intensify by Saturday morning and then gradually move in to Louisiana, bringing the potential for some rain and severe weather as we head into Saturday evening. And then that system is definitely going to continue to bring some rain for Sunday as well, but majority of the country continuing to stay dry. Now, with that for tomorrow, you can expect temperatures to be similar to today, and as we look at the next 8 to 14 days, you can expect above normal temperatures with below average temperatures out south, and similarly here with the outlooks temperatures as well, below average as well as above average. Tyler and Annie.
All right, Morgan, thank you so much. And can we just say it was beautiful outside? I know here locally, I know nationally they're dealing with something a bit different. So obviously the people that are dealing with the wildfires, we're thinking of them this morning. We've got your News Minute after the break. Stay with us.
From the heart of Ball State to the heart of your community, NewsLink Indiana brings you local and state news you care about. We pride ourselves with giving you the most reliable news coverage, stories that affect you, linking you to the community each night on air and online. NewsLink Indiana, bringing news to the heart of your community.
Welcome back. Time to take a look at some of the top stories from this week in your Cardinal Weather News Minute. A Ball State student filed a lawsuit against the Board of Trustees after he says he was attacked in his dorm room last year. According to court documents, Nolan Akridge suffered injuries from the incident in La Follette last November. The suit says Akridge left his room to ask a nearby group to be quieter. When he returned to his room, someone shouted a racial slur and then he was hit in the eye 3 times. The filing claims BSU didn't protect him because there was no RA assigned to the floor. Another local high school is making changes after several students were quarantined. Blackford County Schools tweeted saying students will use at-home blended learning until at least Monday. All extracurricular events are canceled. This decision comes as Muncie Central High School games are postponed for the next 2 weeks. And finally, the African Student Association kicked off its first event of the semester, Movie Night with the ASA. While construction continues at the site of the new Ball State Multicultural Center, the ASA is hosting cultural education events. The ASA says in-person events are important to their members. More details on ballstatedaily.com. That's your Cardinal Weather News Minute here on this Friday morning. Let's go ahead and send it over to Chris with Breaking Down the Science.
Well, good morning. Well, today we're going to be talking about La Nina and El Nino. So most people have heard of it, but don't really know exactly what it does, weather related. Well, during a La Nina event, you have strong westerly winds, basically meaning winds moving from west to east. It allows this warm body of water to hover around the western portion of South America. During this time, the jet stream will actually dip more south, bringing more rainier conditions to the south and more drier conditions north. Now, during an El Nino event, the reverse happens. Stronger easterlies, winds moving from east to west, allow this warm water to move out of the area, causing upwelling with cooler water, bringing our jet stream to move more north. This is bringing a more drier conditions down to the south and more wet conditions up north. So usually during these types of events, this usually impacts around during the winter season, and it does not 100%, if scientists say that it's a La Nina event, it's not 100% La Nina for the whole year. So just kind of keep that in mind the next time you hear if there's going to be a year of a La Nina or El Nino. Back to you guys.
Hey Chris, thank you so much. And like we've been talking about all morning, drop in temperatures, but we still got sunshine on the way, a beautiful weekend ahead.
Absolutely. Sweater weather, spooky season. It's all on the way. Nathan, one final check of the weather this morning.
Love it. It's just a gorgeous fall-like forecast here with the first day of fall being on Tuesday. Lots of sunshine, temperatures in the 60s this weekend, rising back to the 70s next week.
Absolutely unreal. Thank you so much, Nathan. And that's all for Cardinal Weather this morning. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, remember to tune in tonight to Cardinal Compass on WIPB TV and Indiana Public Radio. It's at 6:30. We will see you back here next Friday. Have a good weekend, and remember to mask up.